boxing skills are sublime. No doubt he's pound for pound one of the best on the planet Earth. Crawford is the real deal.
Terence, Bud Crawford can't beat no Canelo Álvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Álvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud will beat Canelo. It's not gonna switch. There's nothing that's gonna change.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman point out a flaw in Canelo Álvarez's style that could cost him against Terence Crawford. They argue Canelo isn't as unbeatable as some believe, while Crawford stands as the most complete fighter of his era. His precision, fluid movement, and adaptability create problems Canelo may not be able to solve. Both analysts believe this could lead to Crawford outclassing Canelo in convincing fashion.
Back in the ring with Terence Crawford, not too soon. Maybe you take a year off and then come back and work your way to the 154, 160 division, and Terence Crawford be there and y'all want to meet again. That's cool. That's cool. But you don't need to be going back in the ring with him this December. I know that much.
Stephen A. Smith stresses that Canelo leans too heavily on power shots, trusting raw strength to win fights. He argues this strategy won't work against Crawford, who thrives on skill, accuracy, and movement. According to Stephen, it takes far more than heavy punches to defeat a fighter with Crawford's intelligence and versatility.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love boxing.
Who gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fighter in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Álvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always
prepared.
He's always ready. He's always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster.
Max Kellerman contrasts skill versus physicality in this matchup. He highlights Crawford's jab, one of the sharpest in boxing, as a weapon that controls range and pace. In comparison, Canelo's once crisp jab has declined, leaving him dependent on power and counters. Kellerman believes Crawford's precision, timing, and ring IQ can neutralize Canelo's size, proving that tactical skill often outweighs raw power.
Crawford. Best defense. Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, you know, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size. size and, as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin, but in terms of if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Timothy Bradley Jr. draws a parallel between Terence Crawford today and Muhammad Ali before facing George Foreman. Many doubted Ali could overcome Foreman's size and strength, yet Ali triumphed through strategy and resilience. Bradley says a similar narrative surrounds Crawford, with critics dismissing his chances against the bigger Canelo. But Bradley insists greatness is not about size, it's about skill, preparation, and determination. He notes Crawford has dedicated a full year to preparing specifically for this challenge, showing his commitment to defying the odds.
They said Ali couldn't beat George Foreman. Yep. They said that who? Jack Dempsey couldn't beat Jess Willard. Yeah. 6'6", Jess Willard, 250 plus pounds. Little old Jack Dempsey knocked him out. Yeah. They saying Terence Crawford can't beat no Canelo Álvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Álvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now. He gonna smash Canelo Álvarez. It's not gonna be a fair fight. I promise you that. It's not gonna be a fair fight because the minute he get acclimated to that punching power, it's gonna be over for Canelo Álvarez. Yeah, that wide swinging left hook, them big looping right hands. Oh, he can straighten that right hand. You don't think they're gonna be ready for that? Crawford and his team are the best in the business. Yeah, best in the business. Crawford has trained for this for an entire year. 1 year for one man. Thinking about him every day when he's out there grinding, watching video, studying film. Yeah, everybody talking about the weight. Ooh, the weight, he too heavy. Chill, it was weight classes for a reason and all of this crap. Man, you think greatness is just built on just being comfortable? Greatness is built on being uncomfortable. Yeah, before we even landed on the moon, it was an idea, right? It was an idea. And then they brought it to light, and we landed on the moon. I know there's some conspiracy theories out there saying that we didn't land on the moon, but you know what the hell I'm talking about. You get it? Yeah, we talk about size. Like size is everything. What about skill? What about mentality?
Bernie the boxer rejects the idea that Crawford is undersized. He argues Crawford's frame and physicality are underrated, with past performances in higher weight classes proving his strength. Bernie emphasizes that Crawford isn't moving up recklessly, he's calculated and intelligent in his approach. In his view, the real difference won't be size but the ability to think, adapt, and outmaneuver in the ring. He believes Crawford's sharper preparation could tip the fight in his favor.
Crawford, you've seen him in the gym, but have you seen the best Crawford under the lights, you think?
When they say the best Crawford, I don't know. I like all Crawford, how he do. You know, that's what makes him a dynamic champion. You know what I'm saying? The best Crawford is what it takes to win. You know what I mean? Now, some fights are more interesting than others. As far as, like I say, the fight with Klimov was a kind of a slow fight. You know, and maybe the Madrimov was a slow fight. Benavidez was kind of a slow fight until he knocked him out. But he was doing a lot of great things in there, so... Buzz fights, they're always exciting. You never know what's going to happen in those fights. So the best Crawford he's always at his best.
PHX Patriot, thank you for the $2. Get the likes of BMB, best in the biz. Something when Bud walked Canelo down. No way he's too small. Fire. Let's go Crawford.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that. A lot of people are saying that they don't think that the walking down situation will happen because of the wrestling background, the grapplings, the tactics, you know, the balance and stuff like that. Stuff that Bud knows how to do because of his, you know, wrestling background. What would you say?
Man, I don't know nothing about no wrestling background. I mean, he did wrestle for, but he was not no national champion wrestler. He was not no real high school wrestler where he was wrestling all his years in high school. He wrestled. The man is just a freak of nature. He's an athlete. You understand? That's what it is. So his specialty is boxing. Okay, now he's strong as an ox. That's where his shit coming from. So they're not wrestling. It's not gonna be no fucking wrestling. Feel me? He doing strength and conditioning training. He's strong as an ox, like we already know that. His hands is like baseball mitts.
Canelo Álvarez approaches this fight with humility and respect, acknowledging Crawford as a true threat despite the size difference. Canelo admits that at the elite level, weight matters less than skill and adaptability. His comments show he isn't underestimating Crawford but is instead preparing with total focus. This professionalism suggests fans will see both fighters at their very best.
Terence is a smaller guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
No, if you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why made me change. But you know, I've been in his situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is a very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reversed. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that. I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything. So I see everything. And
Shakur Stevenson is fully confident in Crawford's chances, citing first-hand experiences in camp. He reveals Crawford has been sparring with bigger opponents than Canelo and dominating them. Stevenson argues that while Canelo's chin is strong, it won't matter if he's consistently hit with precise shots. At this level, it's about avoiding clean punches, and Crawford's accuracy ensures every strike makes an impact.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not gonna switch. There's nothing that's gonna change what I feel.
You've been feeling like that since day one. I think, but now nobody never thought about that fight like that, because when you were saying nobody was thinking about that fight because now
they thought I was
Crawford.
crazy.
Yeah,
they thought I was crazy.
I still think it's crazy though. For me, I still think it's crazy. But you like you said, I'm not in the gym. I'm not in the gym.
Yes, you have to see him then. The people he spars, everybody that Bud Crawford spars is the same size as Canelo. Like all these guys that he's sparring is bigger guys. He don't even he do spar with people his size sometimes, and sometimes he get in there with me. That's strictly for skill. That's strictly to keep his skills, his hand speed, the IQ level up. But the people that Bud Crawford spars is big ass dudes, and I'm watching what he can do in the ring and sparring. It's nothing that's gonna change come fight night. And I hear y'all say that the 16s and the 8s is different. I agree, but y'all gotta realize Bud got on 8s too.
And the chin also. Canelo Álvarez got a little chin, man.
Bud got on 8 ounces too. And you can have all the chin in the world. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you is. If you get punched by the right motherfucker, you gonna feel that shit.
But that's the thing. He got punched by the right motherfuckers in Triple G and Kovalev.
Okay, and you don't know if Bud gonna crack him with a cleaner shot.
Veteran commentator Jim Lampley takes a cautious view, questioning if Crawford may simply be too small for Canelo. While he respects Crawford's brilliance, Lampley stresses that natural size and strength matter at the highest level. Canelo's experience against bigger men and proven durability could be key factors. He frames the fight as an uphill battle for Crawford, noting the real physical risks involved.
The conversations, I'm sure Jim will be hearing them abound. What do you think about the fight now that you just witnessed Canelo Álvarez again in the masterclass performance?
I love Terence Crawford, and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting Madrimov, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough, and not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that he would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots. I might have thought a few months ago that I would give Crawford a logical chance to win the fight. He is the most skilled pound-for-pound fighter in the world, but I just don't think he's big enough and strong enough to take on Canelo Álvarez at 168 pounds. And so far, Crawford is a 154-pound fighter who's only been to 154 pounds once and didn't get a knockout. So, you know, I just don't see it at this moment. I think there is a very obvious assignment out there for Canelo Álvarez, and it isn't Terence Crawford at this moment.
Crawford's decision to step up in weight to fight Canelo showcases his ambition. Few fighters risk their legacy against bigger men, but Crawford embraces the challenge. He has already proven his adaptability at 154 pounds and now takes on an even greater test at 168. Confident in his timing, movement, and precision, Crawford even believes he can knock Canelo out, showing his faith that skill will overcome size.
As a southpaw, but basically he can fight in both stances. Bud Crawford is taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saúl Canelo Álvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man has ever done, and that is to be a 3-division undisputed champion. That's a tall task. We know that Canelo Álvarez has fought fighters way bigger than Bud Crawford. It's actually one of the biggest talking points in this fight is the size. Canelo Álvarez has fought guys like Bivol. He's fought guys like Kovalev. He's fought guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought really big fighters who are established at their weight classes all the way up to light heavyweight. And we know that Bud has come from a smaller weight class, being a champion all the way down at the 135-pound division into 140, 147. But as you can see in the tail of the tape, Bud is actually taller. Bud actually has a bigger reach. And quite frankly, he did most recently fight in the 154-pound division. And I don't think he will struggle to make weight to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Álvarez has been in the weight longer, and as I mentioned, he's fought.
Edgar Berlanga praises Crawford's courage while giving practical advice: don't abandon the style that's made him great. He warns Crawford not to fight differently just to match Canelo's size. Instead, he should rely on his strengths, timing, accuracy, and composure. Berlanga also notes that moving up 2 divisions actually evens the playing field more than many think. Whether Crawford wins or not, Berlanga insists the fight itself proves his greatness.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, you know, show his IQ, show him why he's a 2-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You know, there's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. You know, that could be a difference in the fight. You know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a feel the power. I'm a feel that size difference. You know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying?
That's it for today's breakdown. Stay tuned for more.